In this video, I will be showing you how you can create a professional portfolio website for either yourself or your business. If you are looking to showcase your work and skills to potential clients that you are looking to hire you, this video is going to show you step by step, click by click, exactly how we can gather all of this information onto one website and create an extremely good looking and beautiful portfolio website to showcase your work. The website is a clean and minimalistic design. First of all, introducing yourself and showing exactly what you do. Scrolling down, we then have an About Me section where we explain a little bit about you and what you do. And then underneath, we have a button to either view your resume or people can go through to hire you. And this will take them through to a contact form where they can email you about work. Underneath this, we have a skills section, which highlights all of your skills as a freelancer or a business. We also have this section, which is going to go ahead and showcase your entire portfolio, whether you have videos, whether you have photos, or whether you have files or anything in between. You can showcase your entire portfolio in this section right here. The final section of the website is once again a contact form where people can go ahead and either fill this out and contact you by either email or giving you a phone call. So if you are ready to take your business to the next level and stand out from the competition, let's go ahead and jump right in and get started with the tutorial. So the very first thing that we need to do is go ahead and get web hosting. Now, to get hosting, we want to use Hostinger. This is one of the best hosting providers on the market right now because it is super fast and super affordable. And if you use the first link down in the description, you can claim a nice little discount. So once you have clicked on that link, if we just click on claim deal right here, that is going to take us down where we can select between the premium, the business, and the cloud startup plans. Now, from all of these packages, I would recommend the business, and this is what I use for all of the websites that I create. As you can see, we have a massive performance increase here, up to 5 times as fast. And we also get these daily backups, which I cannot tell you how many times this has completely saved me when I have made a mistake on my website or I have installed a plugin that has ruined everything. And I've managed to save it with one of these daily backups. So we want to go for the business. If you are on a super tight budget, then you absolutely can go with premium. It is still a valid option. However, I just recommend the business plan. The cloud startup is a little bit overkill when we are just creating one website. You do get a performance boost up to 10x, but from the websites that I have created, this 5x is enough. So we just want to go ahead here and click add to cart. And this is going to take us through to this next screen where it asks us to choose a period. Now, by default, it will select 48 months. Now, this is the most cost effective if you know for a fact that you will be using your website for the next 4 years. However, for most people watching this, that's probably not something that you will want to go with. So I just recommend the 12-month plan right here. Is you can see a massive price difference right here. And we also get this free domain. So if we go here, we can see that with the 1-month plan, we pay $14.99. This is probably somewhere closer to $16 US, but we would also have to buy a professional domain. When you are building your portfolio website, having that website look and feel professional is super important, so it is absolutely necessary to get a domain. You will want a domain like yourname.com or yourcompanyname.com, so you will need to purchase a domain. If you don't, you will be given a default domain which will look something like this, and it just looks super unprofessional. I would personally never hire somebody who can't even spend $15 to get a domain. Sounds super harsh, but especially when you are dealing with business owners and people who are looking to hire you, they are always going to be thinking this way. Now, a domain is going to cost you usually around an additional $15, so we are going to pay around $30 to $35 for just 1 month. Whereas if we go with the yearly plan right here, you can see it is more expensive up here at $64 in total. However, you also get a free domain applied in this, and you get this for 12 months. So it is just a much more cost-effective option to go with this 12-month plan right here. So once your plan has been selected, we can go down and right here where it says create your account, just enter in the email address that you would like to create your account with, and then create your account password. You can do this option, or we can also go ahead and create your account with Google or Facebook if that is something you would rather do. Once you have entered your information in right here, we can scroll down to select payment, and you can choose to either pay with your credit card, PayPal, Google Pay, or this is cryptocurrency right here. You can pay with any of these options, and then you can go ahead and fill out this information, secure the payment, and grab your hosting. I'm going to go ahead and do this right now. This is then going to redirect us to the control panel, so it may take a few seconds here. And just like that, it's going to load in. So from here, just click on Start Now, and then it's going to ask who are you creating the website for. So you can choose whether you are creating this website for yourself, which I'm assuming you are, but you can also choose if you are creating it for somebody else. So I'm just going to say I'm creating this for myself, and then we want to choose here, I'm building it myself. It's then going to ask what type of website do you want to build? And of course, we are going to click on portfolio. And then it's going to say, do you need help building your website? So right here, just click on no thanks, I know what I'm doing, as you will be able to follow this tutorial. This next screen is going to ask us if we want to create or migrate a website. Now, website migration is if you have a website with another hosting provider that you want to transfer over to Hostinger. This is not what we are doing. Of course, we are creating a new website. So let's go ahead and click into this. Next, it's going to ask if we want to build the website with the Hostinger AI or WordPress. Now, I've used this in the past and it's not the best website builder. So of course, we are going to go with WordPress right here. Let's go for select. And now it's going to ask us to create login details for WordPress. So up until this point, we have created our Hostinger account and we now have Hostinger hosting. The next step of this video is going ahead and creating our WordPress account. WordPress is of course the website builder, so we will create the WordPress account and this will allow us to go through and actually start creating the website. So at the top here, just select the language. Usually it will be auto selected. Then the administrator email is automatically going to be selected as the email you created your Hostinger account with. So once again, we just want to leave this as it is. And then we can go ahead and create our administrator password for WordPress. Once that has been entered, we can click on continue right here. And it's going to ask us if we want to add any of these plugins. Now, I do not recommend adding any of these. It's like when you get a new phone or a new laptop or computer and it comes with a bunch of pre-installed apps that you don't really want. Effectively, these plugins will pay Hostinger to automatically put them in. However, having all of these just slows down the website, and the majority of these we don't need. So for these plugins, just click on skip, I will manage plugins later, and it's now going to ask us which template we want to use. So on this screen, just click skip, I don't need a template here at the bottom. It's then going to ask to automate text creation with AI. Once again, we will sort out all of the content creation and everything that we need when we can actually see the website and we can see what we are doing. So let's click on skip. I will write content later. And right here, we now get to name the website. So if you went with the yearly plan, which I recommended, we can now go ahead and claim a free domain. So right here, we want to click on select. And under here, we can choose a desired domain. Now, if you went with the monthly plan, you can also go ahead and buy a domain here, but let's go ahead and claim a free domain. Now, before we even enter the name of the domain, if we go to the end here, we can choose what kind of domain this is. Now, the only type of domain that we want here is a .com domain. So click this drop down menu and then select .com right here. For a portfolio website, I would recommend either using your name, .com, or you can use your company's name. If you still are struggling to decide on a domain name, I recommend using this tool right here called ChatGPT. It is completely free and I will leave a link to this down in the description. And we can just say something like, create me a domain name for my, in this example, I'm just going to use photography, but you can change this out, portfolio website. And then as you can see, it's going to give us a domain name right here. Now I can ask for, give me 20 more. And as you can see, this is just going to spit out a bunch of different domain names. Now, the thing about ChatGPT is sometimes these will be unavailable. So let's just go ahead and check this right here. frameharmony.com. This one is taken. So let's just go through and try to find one that isn't taken right here. As you can see, this one, for example, snapshot sculpture, or sculptor, I should say, that I got from ChatGPT. This is available, so you could just go ahead and use this domain. But I'm just going to call this GeForce North, and we can see this domain is available. So once you have found your domain, just click on continue right here. And then it's going to ask for a few more details. So we just enter in the country, whether this is personal or company. It doesn't really matter what you select here. Then we can click next step. And then it's just going to ask for some contact details. Once this is entered, we can click on finish registration, and that is going to connect the domain to your website. And as you can see, this is now going to register that domain. We are going to get final confirmation right here with your domain. So just make sure this is correct and it has the .com domain, and then click on finish setup. It's then going to initialize setup, so once again, this may take a few seconds. And just like that, it says, well done, you are ready. So we can now either go to the control panel or edit the website with WordPress. Now, the first thing that we want to do is just go to the control panel. There is a few settings that we need to tweak here. So just go into manage site. And then the first thing that we need to do is just to make sure that we have SSL protection. Now, SSL, if I go up here, is, as you can see, the connection for Hostinger is secure. And this is the SSL certificate right here. Now, what this means is if you do not have SSL certificate on your own website, when people try to access your website, it's going to give them a message that looks like this. So it is super important that we make sure this is on. Now, all Hostinger domains and hosting comes with free SSL. We just need to make sure this is enabled. So go over to security on this left-hand side, and then down here to SSL. As you can see, we have lifetime SSL and the status is active. If for whatever reason it's not active, you can click on these three dots and then just go ahead and activate it over here. Once we have checked SSL and made sure that is turned on and secured, the next thing that we need to do is verify the email for your domain. So if we just go back to the main dashboard right here on the left hand side, you can see that the domain is active right now. However, if we click into manage right here, you can see it says your domain is pending verification. So if you just go over to the email that you signed up for Hostinger with, you should have an email that looks just like this. So all we need to do is click on this link right here. Go ahead and open that up. And then as you can see, the email address has been verified successfully. So if we now close both of these down and hit refresh, you can see the email verification status is now verified and we now have the email good to go. So if we now go back over to the main Hostinger dashboard right here, and then as you can see at the top, we have the admin panel for WordPress. So we just want to go ahead and click into this, and this is now going to take us over to the WordPress admin area. We will want to navigate back to this admin area quite a lot, And rather than going all the way through Hostinger and doing the method that I just showed you, there is a much easier way to do this. So if we just go to this search bar at the top, we want to go to right here where it says WordPress admin and delete everything after this slash. So it should just be your domain / WordPress admin and then another slash. Hit enter. And this is going to once again take us over to this admin dashboard. So all we are going to do is click on these 3 dots in the top right corner. And then we want to go ahead and bookmark this bar just so that we can get back to this much easier at any time. So we want to bookmark this tab and just call this dashboard and then bookmark this. And this just means that it's now much easier to get back to this admin dashboard at any time. So on the WordPress dashboard, we can access your website at any time by just going up to this at the top right here. You should see your domain. And then we have visit site underneath. Now, WordPress is going to give you a default blank website, so we can just scroll down here. However, we are going to completely change this. And the way that we do this is by installing a theme. The reason that we do this is so that the theme does pretty much all of the heavy lifting for us. And all we have to do is go in there, grab the pre-built template or the theme that we install, and just customize this to turn it into your own customized portfolio website. So to install the new theme onto our WordPress website, we just want to go over to appearance on this left-hand side. And if you hover over this, you can see this side table opens and this top option is themes. So we can go ahead and click into this and you can see we have a few pre-installed themes. Now we are not going to be using any of these. So just go over here to this blank template and click on add new theme. And this is going to take us over to the WordPress theme library. Now you can see a lot of different themes here. And if you see a theme that you like, you are absolutely welcome to go ahead and install this. However, the best theme by far for a portfolio website is called Arrival Me. So if we just go to this search bar in the top right corner and type in Arrival Me, you can see that this portfolio theme is going to be here. So once you see this right here, just go ahead and click on install. That is going to go ahead and install this theme. So just give this a few seconds to install. Once the theme has been installed, this button is going to change to activate. So go ahead and click on activate. And as you can see, this Arrival Me theme is going to be dropped in to our new themes. So just to test this out, if we now go back to our website and click on visit site, you can see the website that we had before has been completely replaced with this brand new website right here. Now, once again, this looks very, very blank. So we need to go in and make a few changes. So let's just go back over to the WordPress dashboard right here and go back into appearance and then themes right here. And this is going to take us back over to the theme area. You should see this piece of text at the top that says welcome and thank you for choosing this theme. So just go ahead and click on let's get started. This is then going to take us over to the Arrival Me dashboard. And you can see at the top, we have this button that says import demo. So go ahead and move over to this. And then this should open up this page right here that says install this operation demo importer. So go ahead and click on install and activate. And this is going to give us a few different themes that we can choose from inside of Arrival Me. As you can see, this very top one is the Portfolio V2. So in Portfolio V2, we can take a look at a live preview. And if we go ahead and open this up, this is the blank template that we are going to get that we can fully customize. As you can see, installing a theme like this and doing it in this way, most of the heavy lifting of the website is done for us. And all we have to do is go in and start customizing this and making changes. So let's just close this down and go ahead and import the Portfolio V2 theme. So we can click on import right here. And then as you can see, it says import the demo. These are some required plugins. So we just want to go down this list and install all of these right here. And then after a few seconds, once all of these have been fully installed, just like that, we can now go ahead and click on go to the next step. It's then going to ask what you want to import. So we want to go ahead and import all of these and click on install this demo. This is then going to take a few seconds while it imports all of this data. So once again, just kick back, relax, and maybe go make yourself a coffee. Just like that, the demo has now been imported. So we can go ahead here and click on see the result. And as you can see, this has now been installed. Now, if I just show you by going back to the main WordPress dashboard, and we now take a look at the site. So we go up here and click visit site. This template has now been fully installed, and this is what the website looks like right now. So scrolling down here, we can see we have this download CV button where we can upload a CV. We can go down and we now have an about me section. We then have this section that shows our skills that we can fully customize. We then have this section right here. And as I say, we can just scroll down and we can customize all of this. We also have this section that shows the recent projects. If we go up to the top, you can see we have this menu bar along the top. And if we click into any of these sections, for example, skills, this will take us down to the skill section. We can click on portfolio, and this is going to take us down to the portfolio section. So now we have the theme fully installed. Let's now go ahead and start editing this and making changes. Now, the first thing that we are going to edit is the main bulk of the website right here. The way that we do this is by going up to this section along the top and clicking this button that says edit with Elementor. Now, if you get this error message right here, your site doesn't have a default kit, just click on recreate kit and then go down and just click each of these buttons, and then we can save changes. And now if we go back to our website once again, visit site, and now we edit with Elementor, this is going to fully load in and we can now edit this entire area. We don't need to go in and do any coding or anything like that. And having a theme installed like this is just going to make things far easier. So from here, all we have to do is go into the template builder and start customizing this to take this from a template into your own customized portfolio website. And that is exactly what we are going to do right now. Now this right here is the Elementor editor. This can look a little bit confusing at first. However, most of the things that are in here, we are not really going to be using. I will give you a quick overview of how this works and everything that you need to know, but keep in mind that I am going to give you a step-by-step walkthrough and show you how to edit each of these elements. Now over here on the right hand side, we have the main Elementor navigator. Now as you can see, this is made up of a bunch of sections, and if I click into this, you can see the section that is highlighted by this pink box right here. So this right here is section 1 from this pink line to this pink line. If I highlight section 2, we can see it's this pink line to this pink line, and we can see each of these sections as we go down here. Inside of each section, this is going to be the elements that make up everything. So as you can see, we have a heading here, we have another heading, then we have some text and a button. What we can also do is, if we just go back to the main Elementor editor, is if you want to add in certain things. For example, if I wanted to add a video up here, is we can go to the Elementor editor on the left side and just drag in, for example, a video, drag and drop that in, and then we can go ahead and start customizing this video using this toolbar on the left hand side. As I say though, this is a little bit too much information. You don't really need to know this, as I'm going to show you step by step how we can customize the site. So I'm just going to go over here and right click and delete this video right here. One thing I will say though that is super important is if you make a mistake on your website, For example, let's just go ahead and drag in this video. You can go back by either pressing Command Z if you are on Mac or Control Z if you are on Windows. Or we also have this history button right here, where we can go in and see the entire history of the site. So we can click through and see the changes that we have made. I just want to go back to default right here, and I'm pretty happy with this. We can then go back to the main Elementor editor by clicking on these squares up here. Now, let's jump in and actually start making changes to this site. So to change this text, all we are going to do is click into this, and then just like a Word document or however else you would use the internet, we can like highlight this or even go to the end and just start making changes. So I'm just going to change this to say I'm Riley Holden, type that in right there. And then underneath, we just want to click on this box, highlight this and delete this, and then enter in what kind of job you do or what kind of portfolio you are building. So in this example, I'm just going to go for photographer, enter that in right there. And as you can see, I now have my name and the fact that I am a photographer. Now over here on the left-hand side, we can also go ahead and change a few things. For example, we can change the size of the text by going over to style, and then we can change the text color. So for example, I can change this from white to red or whichever color I like. And as you can see, this is going to update in real time. So I'm just going to leave this as red for now. But once again, you just click on the text that you would like to change, go over to style, and then as you can see, we have the text color. We also have typography just underneath. So you can go ahead and change like the size of this text. You can change the font of this just like that, as well as the weight and a few other things right here. So you can either follow this video to a T, or if you want to make some other changes like the font of this, you can go around and play in this style section and just see what vibes with your site. Now I'm just going to go back here to how this was before. Okay, just like that. Underneath, you can see that we have this piece of text right here, and you can either go ahead and just kind of fill out a slogan or a quick 2 or 3 sentence piece of text about you. And what I find really helpful here is once again using this tool ChatGPT. So I'm just going to say, create me a 3-sentence bio about me for my photography portfolio website. And then I can hit enter. And okay, so this is, let's say, make this shorter. So I can just copy this and then paste it into here. And then I'm just going to make a few changes. So instead of meet, I'll say, I'm Riley, a masterful storyteller. And then change this to I. And this looks pretty good so far. I'm happy with that. And then once again, you can go into style, play around with this completely, and just change this to look how you want this to look. Now, super important here is as you make changes to your website, we want to make sure that we are going down and hitting update just to save the changes. And then if something goes wrong, if you have a power cut, I don't know, something could go wrong, just make sure that you keep updating this site. Now, with this button, I really like this because this is super versatile. So first of all, if you do have a CV or you have like a collection of photos or projects, maybe videos, a Google Drive file, so many different things, effectively, if you want to put a link here, you can do this by just clicking on this button. And then as you can see on the left-hand side, it's going to open up this link right here. So in this box, this is where you would go ahead and input your link. I will just give you a test here. And let's say that we want to link to ChatGPT, just as an example. I can go ahead and input the link in there. Then let's click update. And if I now go ahead and view this website, you can see that if I now click on this button, that is going to take me over to ChatGPT. So that is just a quick example of how you can input a link in here. Now with this button, you can really change this to be anything that you like. So we can either completely delete this, and the way that we do this is just by clicking on the button. And then over on this right hand side, you can see this button right here. We just right click and then click on delete. And that is going to completely remove the button. Alternatively, we can just go back. And then if we go ahead and click on this once again, we can change the text of this. So this can say something like learn more, or we can say maybe even see my portfolio or something like that. Now I'm actually just going to leave this as download CV right here. And the next thing that we are going to do is, of course, change this big background image. This is just a random guy, so you probably don't want him on your website. So the way that we can do this is just go to this first section. You can even close this down. Make sure the first section is highlighted. Just go ahead and click on this. And then over here on the left-hand side, we want to go along to style. Under here, you should now see the image, and we can see the image that we have in the background is shown here. Now you have two different options here. First of all, you can include a photo of you, which I would highly recommend. And then all you would do is just click on choose image right here. And then it says drop files to upload. So we can click on select files. And then you can just go through your computer, find the file or the image that you would like to have as the background image. Just as an example, I'm going to use this image right here. This is not an image of me, but I will just show you how this works. We make sure this is checked and then click on select. And then as you can see, this background image is going to change. Now, if you do not have a photo of you, or you do not have a photo of you that you would like to use, we can go over to this website called Pexels. Now, Pexels is a website where we can go ahead and get free stock photos and videos that are royalty free. So this is super, super handy. So for an example, we can just look for, I don't know, maybe a laptop. Completely depends on what kind of portfolio you are building. But we can go down here and simply download these images. And then we can go ahead and use this exact same method where we choose image and upload it into here. So with that being said, I'm just going to go back to how this was before and leave this default image, as this is not a portfolio site that I am actually going to be creating for myself. This is just an example. We now have this top section done right here. This is now all looking beautiful. So we can move down to this next About Me section. Now in this section, for the text, I can keep this nice and brief. We can just go up here and edit all of these different sections. For example, this heading, we can go ahead and just change this. About Me sounds good. I probably wouldn't change this, but just as an example, I'm going to say hello. But we can just go down, and what you will notice about this top section is if you try to click on About Me or this Power Digital, you can't click on them because it's automatically going to select this image behind it. So if you do run into this issue where it's selecting this image behind, just use this navigator on the left-hand side and just click down until you find what you want to highlight. So as you can see, Power Digital is highlighted on this left-hand side. And then I can use the right-hand side to go over and input the text that I want to enter about myself. And then these sections, we can just click on these and then go ahead and edit them just like that and input the text right here. Now this image you may or may not want to keep. I think it looks pretty cool no matter what kind of portfolio you're really building. But if you do want to delete this, just click on this, make sure this is highlighted, and then we can go to the image on this right hand side, right click and delete this. Alternatively, if you want to upload a different image instead, we can highlight the image once again. As you can see, this is highlighted. And then we can go over to choose image, click on choose image, and just like we did before, we can go ahead and upload an image from our computer. It's the same right here with this image. We can go ahead and just select this, and this guy looks a bit sad. He looks pretty unhappy, so I would probably go ahead and get rid of this. Once again, you can either upload a piece of work, or you can upload an image of yourself, or we can just go ahead, right click on this and delete this on the right hand side. Once again, with these buttons, they are pretty simple to use. We can click into each of these buttons, we can add links, change the text, and then mess around with the style and the typography in the style section. So this section right here, we are effectively using all of the tools that we have already used in the Elementor editor. So now let's move down to this section with the skills. Once again, very simple, where we can just click and change the text here and here. So if we move down to these sections, you can see that once again, we have this bar and we have all of these different skills. So for a photographer, what I can do is once again, click into each of these sections and I can change this to, let's change this to photography. And then you can see on the left-hand side, once this is selected, we have this percentage. So we can go ahead and move this scale up and down. And as you can see, that bar is automatically going to move where we select this to. So as a photographer, I want 100% photography. And then actually, let's go ahead and capitalize this so it fits in with all of the others. And then Photoshop, we can leave this as it is, maybe turn this up a bit. But you guys get the idea where we can go in and we can just highlight this text, put in whatever we want, and then use this slider on the left-hand side to choose the percentage that we have here. You can also add text inside of each of these bars if we click onto this. So I'm not sure why you would do this. I probably wouldn't add text here, but you absolutely can. And then once again, with the bar selected, we can go over to style right here on the left-hand side, and we can choose the color for this bar. So I can go ahead and change all of these bars to maybe this blue, for example, and this right here is the exact color. So we want to make these bars all the exact same color. So just go ahead and copy this kind of code down here, then go into the new bar, and then we can go to style, change the color, and then rather than sliding along and trying to guess the exact color, we can just go to this box down here and paste in exactly what we just copied, and then do this for all of these individual bars, just like this. So let's just go ahead and turn these back just like that. So that is the my skills. Maybe I would change this to my actually instead of our skills. And then we can move down to this next section. Now, once again, the first thing that we probably want to change here is the background image. So just go ahead and highlight this section. That's the above section. So it can be a little bit confusing here. What I would recommend is just closing down these sections and then going through. Okay, so this is the section that we want highlighted between the pink lines. We can then go over to style and change the image that is shown here. Now the text is actually a little bit different because instead of just clicking in here, and you can type this, but if we click on these, you can see the title on the left-hand side. So let's go ahead and just change this to photographs taken. So once again, it's not as simple as just clicking and typing the text here, although you can do that. What you want to do is go to this title on the left-hand side and update it here instead. So we can just delete this and then say years of experience, just like that. And as you can see, this is all going to update. Once these sections are highlighted, we can also choose the number shown here on the left-hand side. So let's go for 10 years of experience, just like that. For the photographs taken, let's highlight this and go for 100,000. And then you can also change the animation duration. So this is basically how quick, if you click into each of these, it's going to just change how quickly that shows up. So once again, you can just play around with this, make it faster or slower, and see what really fits the vibe of the website. Now, I'm just going to add another reminder here to go ahead and update the website. Make sure that all of those changes are saved right here. Moving down, we also have this working process section. And because this is just full of, I think this is Latin, it doesn't really make sense. But you can change this to something like my 3-step process or something like this. And then we can just go down and change all of these. So we have, for example, these icons. that we can click into. And if we go over to the left-hand side, we can choose from the icon library and update these to a bunch of different icons. For example, if I go for film and click insert, you can see that is going to update to the film there. And then the text is very simple once again, that we can just click in and edit all of this. Now, if you want to take away one of these boxes, so instead of a 3-step process, we want like 2 steps or even 4 steps. First of all, if we want to delete, we can just go over to one of these columns right here, right click on this, and then click on delete. And as you can see, that is now going to be changed to 2. Alternatively, if you want to add in an extra step right here, what you will notice is if we go over to the Elementor search and we search for a column, nothing is going to show up. So instead, what we do is we find a column on the right-hand side, right click on this, and then go down to duplicate. And then as you can see, that's going to add in a new column where we can change this to 4. And then once again, just use the same process. Now, this is not a necessary section, and if you do want to delete any of these sections right here, all we have to do is go up to the top and click on this X button right here to delete section. Just make sure you are above the section that you want to delete. We can click on delete, and just like that, that section is going to be deleted. The next thing that we have is the recent projects. So we could even maybe change this to my best project or something like this. We then have text underneath, so you can either edit this, or we can just go to the right-hand side, right-click and delete this. And with this, instead of being made up of a bunch of different images like these are before, if we click on this, this is going to show us that this is a gallery. As you can see, this is a basic gallery. So the way that we actually change the images here, instead of clicking into each individual one and then uploading the file, is we want to highlight the basic gallery on the right-hand side. Just click on this. And then you can see on the left-hand side, we have 6 images selected. To go ahead and change these, just hover over this section, click on this pencil icon in the top right corner, and then we can go ahead and edit this gallery. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use pixels. There is something super important that I want to show you, so I'm going to go ahead and change these out, and I'm going to show you a big problem that you are likely to run into here. So I now have my images. What I'm going to do is just delete all of these pre-entered ones right here, and then select my new files, and then just upload all of the images that I just grabbed right there. So once these have all uploaded into the gallery right here, just give this a few seconds. I can now go ahead and click on Insert Gallery. And as you can see, these images have been uploaded. But you might notice a big problem is that these don't really look professional because they are all different sizes. For example, this one is slightly bigger than this one. This one is completely different dimensions, and they just don't match up. So how do we solve this? It's actually very, very simple. All you want to do is use this website right here called Canva. It is completely free. You can get the pro version, which I am signed up to, but for what we are using this for, you can use the free version of Canva, and I will leave a link to Canva in the description. So all we need to do on Canva is click on Create a Design up here, and then we want to go for Custom Size. And then we want to make sure that these are all square. When they are square, it means they match up just like these ones do right here. As you can see, they are all square. So just make this 1000 width by 1000 height, and then click Create New Design. This will load in a square template right here. And then all you need to do is go over to Uploads, click on Upload Files, and then bring in each one of these images, just like this, and then resize them to make sure they fit the entire size. Now, for some images, this might not be the best, but this is effectively what you have to do to make sure these are square. This one still looks fantastic. And then once you have this as a square image, click on Share in the top right corner, go down to Download, and then download this image. And then we just want to go back and do this with each and every one of these images to make sure they are all the same size and they are all square. Once you have done that, we can then go back to the gallery, put these in and do just as we did before, insert all of these images, and then all of your images will be square and beautiful and show up right here. Finally, we can go down to this Get in Touch section. Once again, we can just highlight this and change all of this. I would recommend to keep this as Get in Touch. And then over here, you can add your phone number. You can add your email address right here. And you can either add or just delete this address right here. I'm just going to delete this. Just like that. And then we have this contact form where people will be able to fill this in and ask you if they want you to do any work. So this is the main bulk of the website, and the website is almost complete. The only thing that we have to do from here is change out this logo, make sure all of these menus line up, and then change a little bit at the footer. Now, the way that we edit the header up here and the footer is a different area. If we go ahead and try to change this text, you will see that this will not work at all. So all we are going to do is just update and save all of the changes we have made to the website. We don't want to lose all the work that we have just done. And then all we are going to do is click on Preview Changes right here, and then exit out of the last tab that we are on. So exit out of this tab, and this will take us over to view the website as it is. Now, the way that we edit the header and the footer, instead of clicking on Edit with Elementor, is we click on this Customize button. Now, this is going to bring us over to this menu where it opens up this menu down the left-hand side. So the first thing that we are going to do is go ahead and create a new logo. And to do this, we once again want to use Canva. Now for this, I should mention that this is much easier if you do have Canva Pro. But don't worry, you can actually get Canva Pro for free. If you use the link down in the description, you can get a 30-day free trial. Just remember to cancel it after you have created your logo so that you don't forget about it and eventually get charged. So as I say, click on that link. Make sure you are on Canva Pro because we do need it for creating the logo. And then all we are going to do is click on Create a Design up here, and then go down to this logo section. Now, the awesome thing about Canva is they have a lot of pre-built logo templates, as you can see on this left-hand side. So all we need to do is go to Search Logo Templates, and then search for the industry or the niche you are in. For example, I can go for photography logo, and you can see we have a few different pre-built photography logos. I like this one, so I'm just going to go with this and then change this to say G-Force North. Capitals doesn't really look the best. Let me change this back. There we go, G-Force North. And then all we have to do from here is maybe make this a little bit bigger, just like that. And then once you have your logo and you are happy with how this looks, we just need to click on Save, then go to this download button right here. And this transparent background, this is why we needed Canva Pro, is so that we can save this without this background in the back. So highlight the transparent background after you have your logo and click on download. And then we can go back over to the previous web page that we were on. And from here, you should see next to the logo is this little pencil button. So just go ahead and click on this, and it's going to open up logo on this left-hand side. So we can now go ahead and click on change logo. And then once again, we just go over to upload files, select files, and then grab the logo that we just created. Make sure this is highlighted, and then we can click on select and just make sure this is fully highlighted. Just here, we have this full thing in. It's a little bit hard to see because this is a white logo. So let's just go for crop image. And just like that, you can see this logo is now in. Now this is way too big, so I'm just going to go to the logo width and turn this down. And just make sure this is the right size, which I'm pretty happy with that there. So that is the logo. Now we just want to go to the menu and test out all of these. Make sure they all lead to the right area. We have skills, okay, process. So there we go. This process section, if you remember, we deleted. So because we deleted this section, we want to make sure that this is deleted from the top. Once again, the way to do this is by clicking on this little pencil icon next to the menu. And then you can see we have the primary menu, and we can click on edit menu just below this. So click on edit menu, and then all we are going to do is find the section that we deleted. For me, it was process. And then all we have to do is click on this, and it's going to open up this menu. So we can go ahead and click on remove, and that is now going to be removed from that menu. So I'm just going to go ahead and test out the rest of these, and these all work. So this is awesome, and this header section is now done. I'm not sure why that jumped to being bigger. Let's just make this a little bit smaller. Cool. And then let's go down and just edit the footer section. So as you can see, these sections right here, we just want to click in and edit next to get in touch. It's going to open this menu where we can just go ahead and edit this text right here. So you can enter in the email, phone number, and location, or you can just delete this. And then once again, we have an about me section. So you can just go ahead and either use what you used up here, or you can create a new about me section. Then in my project, this is automatically going to sync from what we had above. As you can see, if you change this and you have all of your different projects in here, it will automatically be changed down there. The final thing that we need to do is just click on this section at the bottom, this pencil icon, and then you can choose a few different things. So first of all, do we want widgets? You can either turn that on or off if you want to get rid of that entirely. And then we also have these social media icons. So for social media, we can either just go, no, I don't want this on, or we can say yes. And then we can click this button to configure social media icons. And then we can go ahead and link up all of these different social medias. So for example, this one is Twitter. We can click on this and we can either change the logo if we don't want to use Twitter. Let's say I want to use Reddit instead. And then we can go ahead and just grab your social media link, paste it into this box, and whenever somebody clicks on this, they will be taken over to that social media. Now, once the footer is completely edited, we can click on publish up here and make sure all of those changes are published. And the very final thing that I want to mention is if you do have a social media presence or you want to share your social media icons on your site, what you can do is if we just go back to edit with Elementor up here and get back into the main Elementor editor, is we can add in a brand new section wherever you like on the site. So let's say we want to add it here underneath. So let's say we want to add it here. We can click add section. And then if we go to this Elementor bar on the left hand side, we can look for social icons, drag these in just like that. And then we can have these social media icons on the main bit of the site rather than being hidden in the footer down here. Once again, to edit these, we can just click into Facebook, for example, and then edit the link down here. We can delete certain social icons, and then we can add new ones in right here. So that is how you can build your own portfolio website. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to smash that like button and tap that subscribe button. And until next time, take it easy.